I want to talk a little bit this week about what to do when you're injured. Because I'm injured. I've got a broken toe, but I can still walk, and that's good. And I've got a great place to walk. And this is probably your first best option for cross training, is to keep moving. So here I am. I'm moving.
I hate being injured. Well, who doesn't, right? I mean, none of us wants to be injured. None of us looks for an excuse to avoid running and sit around and, well, okay, once in a while maybe when it's too hot outside or too cold outside or raining or whatever. But when you're injured, you would give anything to get out there, even if it's hot, even if it's cold, even if it's raining, even if it's snowing, just to be able to run. That's me right now with a broken toe. And maybe it's been you in the past, or maybe it's somebody that you know. But what I want to tell you today is, please don't forget that you are a runner. Don't forget that when the injury is gone, when the injury is healed, and it will be, you are still a runner, and you will be back out there. The more you do now while you are injured, the better off you are going to be. Now, what you're able to do is going to be determined somewhat by what type of injury you have. Most injuries that we experience in life have nothing to do with running, but they do impact our running. In fact, impact is the key word there. Right now, I need to avoid impact because I have a broken toe. I can walk just fine. I can do most things just fine. But when I run, and it's not even just the landing on the foot, it's the act of pushing off that causes the pain and that's going to exacerbate the injury. So I'm focusing on things that I can still do that will keep my cardiovascular fitness up and reduce the damage that I'm still doing to myself if I have any more damage that I'm doing, bumping into the toe, pushing off with the toe, those sorts of things I'm trying to avoid. So whatever injury you have might restrict what you're able to do. If you can still go through the running motion, some of the things that I'm showing you this week will be really helpful to you. If you can't, if you're not able to put weight on your foot at all, or if you have to avoid any lower body strenuous exercise, focus on things you can do with your upper body. Maybe you can swim and focus on your cardiovascular efforts with your upper body. Maybe you just need to work out your arms, use hand weights and things like that. But do whatever you can within the limitations that your medical professionals in your life have given you. Do whatever you can to keep up your fitness, because when you come out of this injury, you don't want to start from zero.
Okay, so I'm going to do some water running. I've got my, this is a Sprint Aquatics belt that I think they use at our local rec center for water aqua aerobics or something, but I bought it from them. There are other brands. And this is something that's really important when you're going to do water running. That way you've got your hands free. You can do it with one of those pool noodles up under your arms, but that's a little bit hard to do. I'm going to have my shoes on because I'm a little bit worried about my broken toe, that the resistance of the water against the toe might not be the best for it. Oh, I'm also going to change my watch to waterproof mode because I don't want my watch to be a casualty of all this. And when you're going to do water running, a really good tip is, of course, you want to be, you want to be deep enough so that your feet don't touch the ground when you're doing it. But it's easier if you start in the shallow so that you get a sense of the running motion first with your feet touching. So I'm going to back up a little bit and I'm going to sort of run toward the deep end. And when I get to the deep end, I'm going to keep running, only nothing's going to touch the bottom. So I'm going to run. And then as I get to the deep end, I'm going to try to keep my legs going in that same running motion. And I'll even get my arms into the act a little bit. And it's actually really pleasant. This is a great cross-training activity. It's good for on hot days if you've got access to a pool. It's the best type of thing to do, though, for if you've got an injury, because there's no impact. Nothing is touching the bottom right now. but I'm still able to use my running muscles in the same way that they work when I'm outside running. Okay, so please excuse the clutter. And nobody tell my wife that I showed you our workout room, because she would be mortified at all of the clutter that you're seeing. But I want you to see some of my favorite cross-training devices that also work great for exercise when you're injured, particularly like what I have right now with a broken toe. This machine is called a Zero Runner. It's made by a company called Octane Fitness, and it is an awesome machine that is sort of a hybrid between a treadmill and an elliptical machine. There's no belt, so it's not like a treadmill in that sense, but it also is not really like an elliptical, because an elliptical only moves in one way, and I'll show you what I mean by that. As I get up on this, an elliptical machine just kind of goes like this. And it's a good exercise, it's good cardio. But what's great about the Zero Runner is you can actually run on it. You see the way that these arms that support the platforms that my feet are on, the way they bend allows for a natural running motion. But my feet never leave the platform, and so there's no risk of an impact injury because my feet are always steady on the platform. It's an amazing way for me to run when I don't want pounding on my foot. And so it works great for coming back from an injury, but it also works great as a way for me to get in extra miles without putting extra pounding on my body. So if I'm doing a high mileage week, I can get extra miles on this, but I'm still not getting the same impact on my body that I would if I were doing an outside run. I like to think of this as water running on dry land because it really serves that same sort of function. Now, another machine I want to show you is over here. This is called a Versa Climber. A lot of people ask me how I'm able to train for the mountains that I do in Colorado when I live here in Florida. And this is a great way for me to do that. It's basically to stairs or mountains the same as a treadmill is to the roads. Again, like on the Zero Runner, there are platforms here that my feet go in, so there's no impact, but I'm able to go through a climbing motion. So it's like I'm climbing a ladder, but I'm not really going anywhere. Again, no impact, very tough workout though on the legs. It's a very strong workout and good cardio workout as well. And then the last thing that I want to show you is over here. Peloton is a very popular indoor cycling type experience. I'm sure a lot of you have those or have seen them. You've certainly seen the commercials. We were not sure if we would enjoy a Peloton enough to justify the expense. But I used to teach spinning classes, and I did a lot of work maintaining the bikes at the club where I worked. And so I got this on Amazon for way less than what a Peloton bike costs. It's a very simple spin bike, but you can get the Peloton app. And so I got this bracket for my wife. She puts her iPad up here. And so she watches the Peloton classes, even the live classes. She has a membership to watch those, but it costs a lot less than if she had the actual bike. No, the feedback's not getting back to the coach in the class, and so she doesn't show up on the leaderboard and that sort of thing, but she still gets that class experience. And I don't do those classes myself, but I'll get on this and do a spin. Again, no impact, good cardio workout. Those are the keys. When you're injured, you want to make sure you can still get a good cardio workout without the pounding on the weak links, whatever they are. Right now, my weak link is my broken toe.
I hope you're not injured now. I hope you don't get injured in the future. But you probably know someone who is injured, or you know someone who's going to be injured in the future. point them to this video when they need it. And if there are things that have helped you through your injury, let me know what I should be telling people in addition to the tips in this video. I will say one last thing. Mental health is extremely important now during COVID and when you're injured. So focus on things that help you with your mental health. Go for walks in places that are pretty. Do things for your mind to stay active. Read about running. Listen to books about running. Listen to podcasts about running. Continue to think along the lines of yourself being a runner. When you lose your identity as a runner physically, you don't have to lose your identity as a runner spiritually, emotionally, mentally. So keep thinking of yourself as a runner, keep running in your mind, and get back out running when you can safely. If there's anything I can do to help, please send me a message, chris@jeffgalloway.com.